This is such a great turnout. I'm so happy. So my name is Stephanie, and I'm with Food and Water Watch. So as you all probably know, the EPA is tasked with protecting our water and air from a variety of pollution sources. Who here is worried about the future of the EPA? Yeah. You should be, because under the Trump administration, protections that the EPA provides could be rolled back even further, hindering its ability to regulate air pollution as well as water pollution. So before Trump even takes office, his pro-business agenda is very clear. He wants to use the EPA as a free-for-all for his big business allies. With the appointment of Scott Pruitt, Oklahoma Attorney General, the agency and its mandate to protect water and air face very grave threats. He is essentially opposed to the mandate of environmental protection and has made fighting the agency a hallmark of his career. He's spent his entire career trying to dismantle environmental protections and is the climate change denier, saying that the science around climate change is far from settled. He's taken over $300,000 from oil and gas industries and put cooperation with the oil, gas, and agriculture industry ahead of protecting the environment, doing everything he could to fight environmental policies. He has stood up for the profits of business, be it energy industry, other polluters, at the expense of people who have to drink or breathe the air. He walked back, this recently came out in the New York Times, he walked back a legal fight to clean up rivers polluted by chicken manure after accepting tens of thousands of dollars in campaign contributions linked to the industry. In fact, he sued the EPA 14 times and has at least 8 active lawsuits against the agency. Some of these lawsuits include EPA rules on mercury, regional haze from coal-fired power plants, and the Clean Power Plan. So, I don't know about you, but I want a country where we can count on our government to protect our basic clean air and water, and we can do that by preventing Pruitt's confirmation. And if he is confirmed, organize a broad-based coalition of people that will stand up to any attempt at rollbacks on the EPA. We must defend the EPA against the industry insiders who will seek to dismantle our hard-won environmental protections that we fought for over the last 40 years. So right now, our short-term goal is to block the appointment of Scott Pruitt to head the EPA. We're doing that by focusing on shoring up key Democratic senators, such as Senator Casey, to oppose the appointment. We must make sure that Casey does everything in his power to block this appointment. He often caves to industry pressure and doesn't have the best environmental track record. We have recent history with the DART Act, where Casey voted the right way, then caved to pressure and flipped on the final vote. We can't let up on him. We need to show him that the people in Pennsylvania care about clean air and water, and we're here to stay. Following the decision on the EPA administrator, which is expected immediately after Inauguration Day, we will hold Senator Casey accountable to preserving the mandate of the EPA and maintaining regulations and environmental laws to protect communities. This work is critical as his hearing is tomorrow, so that's why we organized a last-minute rally for today. His hearing will have an appointment would have impacts on environmental progress for decades to come. So our organization is hitting the ground running with a number of tactics. We're holding another event next week, generating phone calls to the senator's office, gathering 1,000 petitions, building a strong local coalition, and having a presence at Senator Casey's district meeting where we deliver our petitions and coalition letter. So if you want to get more involved, definitely come to, we're having a campaign action meeting tomorrow at Ale Mary's at 6:30. It'll be a great way to learn more about the campaign, plug into future events, and we'll be taking action right there by writing letters to the editor. So you'll be part of building an active volunteer base on the ground that will work towards our vision of clean air and water and a safety record. So now I'll pass it off to Rabbi Dan Swartz. He's the Pennsylvania Interfaith Power and Light Chair.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Stephanie, and thank you for organizing this, and thanks everybody for coming out on a chilly, rainy morning. Some of us are old enough to remember the midnight clock of the Bureau of Atomic Scientists talking about the possible doomsday and how close we were to it. And some of us are old enough to remember when Ann Gorsuch was the EPA administrator under Ronald Reagan, and the destruction that resulted from her sweet deals with the companies producing toxic wastes and polluting the environment. And right now we're at a place where those two things are coming together, because we're at a key point in human history about whether we are going to stop climate change before it becomes a runaway Armageddon for our future. If we don't take action now, it will soon be too late. We just celebrated Martin Luther King Day, and King spoke often about the idea of the urgency of now. The fact that we can be too late if we don't put in place strong measures to protect our climate, our planet, the poor right now. It's going to be too late. And Scott Pruitt not only doesn't want to move forward, he wants to move back. Senator Casey has spoken often about how important children are to him. Well, a child can't learn if their brain has been poisoned by even a small amount of mercury while in the womb. A child can't live a stable future if we're having agricultural crises because of climate change. Senator Casey talks about how he cares for the seniors in Pennsylvania. When there's a heat wave, who is it that dies first and foremost? It's our seniors, and particularly the seniors who are poor, who are living in housing without air conditioning. We're going to see more and more heat waves. We're going to see more and more deaths. We're going to see more and more children whose future is compromised because their brain was poisoned if we let Scott Pruitt become the EPA administrator. If we care about people, if we think that the moral choice is to protect the future of people and our planet, we have to say no to Scott Pruitt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Diane Dreyer.
Right into that mic, Diane.
Okay.
Right into it. Real loud.
Let me get my glasses on.
Pretend you're Frank Sinatra.
Way back in 1970, environmental protection was not a partisan issue. Both Republicans and Democrats agreed that our environment and our citizens needed protection. Former President Richard Nixon created the EPA to address serious environmental issues. Among them were rivers so full of industrial waste that they caught on fire, air pollution that covered cities in a shroud of smog causing respiratory and other health problems, leaded gasoline emissions that threatened children's brain development, DDT that caused cancer in humans and drove American symbolic eagle to the brink of extinction, and acid rain that poisoned our rivers and lakes, killed fish, forests, and wildlife, and even eroded our buildings. You don't have to look very far to read about serious environmental challenges that continue to face our nation. In the Midwest, an important pollinating bee has been placed on the endangered species list. This particular bee population has declined 87% since the 1990s. There are 4,000 bee species, all of which are in decline. Without bees, what happens to our food production? Several Wyoming state legislators just introduced a bill in their state legislature to outlaw utility companies from providing energy through renewable sources such as solar and wind. Contrast that kind of thinking with a recent regulation in France that every new commercial zone building install either solar or plants on a portion of the roof. And NASA reports that the debate on climate change is over. I quote, multiple studies published in peer-reviewed scientific journals show that 97% or more of actively publishing climate scientists agree. Climate warming trends over the past century are extremely likely due to human activities. In addition, most of the leading scientific organizations worldwide have issued public statements endorsing this position. Now, there are some who are cheering the potential dismantling of the EPA and demanding that for every one new regulation, 2 other regulations are eliminated. But we ask the question, what would the air that we all breathe and the water that we all drink be like without the important work of the EPA for the past 47 years? Sorry.
Part 2.
The bottom line is, we need an EPA director who accepts that climate change is the most serious environmental challenge of our time, an EPA director who will put the health and well-being of its citizens above the profits of big corporations, and an EPA director who is not compromised by political contributions from the fossil fuel industry. That EPA director is certainly not Scott Pruitt. In fact, it's hard to imagine a person who would be a worse choice to lead the EPA than Scott Pruitt, a climate change denier and someone who routinely rejects science. Senator Casey, we call upon you to vote a resounding no on the nomination of Scott Pruitt and to push back against policies that will weaken the environmental protection that the EPA provides to us, our children, and our grandchildren. Senator Casey, we're paying attention. We vote, and we're not going away. Thank you.
Save the EPA! Save the EPA! Save the EPA!
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
You're being disruptive, so I have to ask you to either or, please. Okay? Thank you.
So we have to wait outside.
Please, thank you.
Asked to leave the building because it's private property and other tenants in the building, according to the owner of the building, who you watch walking away, doesn't want anybody in here because it might interfere with business. What just happened when the owner of the building came down helped raise awareness to the issue of why people are here today. Had Bob Casey's staffer come down here, talk to the people briefly, taken copies of their petitions, thank them for their interest in the issue, and vowing to tell the senator about their concerns, it would have been real easy. It would have run very smoothly. Instead, because U.S. Senator Bob Casey's staff did not come down, made people wait in the building, the owner came in and kicked them out of his building. That doesn't look good for Bob Casey. It doesn't look good for the way people are being treated by Bob Casey's staff. And it works to the advantage of these good citizens because they came in peacefully, respectfully, to petition their government on issues that are matters of life and death. Clean air, clean water, clean environment, clean world.
So people do have stuff in common with tattoo me.
He shares some of the same concerns you folks do. We have copies here of some of the statements that you folks are happy to, take along. Yeah, to take along. And at this point, the senator's just waiting for the hearing. But again, he has this pretty strong statement, probably stronger than even some of his other statements on nominees. And we'll wait to see what his decision is after the hearing. But let's just say he shares your concerns. So,
But we have the signatures from everyone here.
Oh, great.
We definitely want Senator Casey to block the appointment of Scott Pruitt. And whatever happens after the hearing, to pledge to defend any attempted rollbacks of the EPA and be a very strong environmental advocate.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming. And actually, what I can do is leave these. These are just copies. I don't know if everyone has seen this actual statement. It's a good statement by the senator. Again, very strong about his concerns.
How does he feel about Rex Tillerson and Rick Perry?
I'm sorry?
Rex Tillerson and Rick Perry, who are to be on energy
Yes, yeah.
departments who
yeah.
are not very good. Yeah, Secretary of State.
Yep, we can't block the
Move out, everybody.
Actually, if you go to our website or you speak with our press team, I know you're taping me right now, but for the most part, I'm not, necessarily the spokesperson. It's Senator Casey, casey.senate.gov. Right in the middle of the page, it says Trump nominations. If you hit that link, it'll take you to the page, and the senator has a statement on all of the nominees coming up.